Hey friends, it's Miss Foreman, and I know a lot of you have mentioned that you're missing the magic tree house, and we were right smack in the middle of one when we had to leave school. So I'm going to go ahead and read a chapter or so every day, and so we're going to start back at the beginning since we were right smack in the middle. So this one is called Winter of the Ice Wizard by Mary Pope Osborne. And of course, it has a table of contents, not like a reading table, but an organized list of all the chapters in the book. And I can tell there's going to be 9 chapters, and the names of each of the chapters, and the page number that each one starts on. So let's go ahead and start with chapter 1. Chapter 1, Winter Solstice. A cold wind rattled the window panes. But inside the house, it was warm and cozy. Jack and Annie were making Christmas cookies with their mom. Jack pressed a star-shaped cookie cutter into the dough. "Hey, it's snowing outside," said Annie. Jack looked out the window. Huge snowflakes were falling from the late afternoon sky. "You want to go out?" asked Annie. Not really. It'll be dark soon," said Jack. "That's right," said their mom. "Today's the first day of winter. It's the shortest day of the year." Jack's heart skipped a beat. "You mean it's the winter solstice?" he said. "Yes," said their mom. Annie gasped. "The winter solstice?" she said. "Yes," their mom said, puzzled. Jack and Annie looked at each other. Last summer, Merlin the magician had called for their help on the summer solstice. Maybe he would need them again today. Jack put down the cookie cutter and wiped his hands on a towel. "Actually, Mom, it might be fun to play in the snow for just a few minutes." "Whatever you want," their mom said. "Just dress warmly. I'll finish up with the cookies and put them in the oven." "Thanks," said Jack. He and Annie raced to the closet and pulled on their boots. They threw on jackets, scarves, gloves, and caps. "Be home before dark," their mom said. "We will," called Jack. "Bye, Mom," Annie shouted. Jack and Annie slipped out of their house into the snowy cold. Their boots squeaked as they ran across their white yard and headed toward the Frog Creek woods. At the edge of the woods, Jack stopped. He couldn't believe how beautiful the trees looked. White powder covered the branches of the hemlocks and pines. "Look at that," said Annie. She pointed to 2 pairs of footprints that led out to the road and then back into the woods. "Somebody else has been here." "It looks like they were walking out of the woods, but then turned back," said Jack. "Let's hurry." If the magic treehouse had come back today, he didn't want anyone finding it first. Jack and Annie walked quickly through the woods, following the 2 sets of footprints. "Stop," said Annie. She pulled Jack behind a tree. "Over there." Through the falling snow, Jack saw 2 people in long, dark cloaks. They were hurrying toward a tall oak, and high in the oak was the magic treehouse. "Oh no," said Jack. The treehouse was back, and someone else had found it. "Hey!" Jack yelled. "Stop!" The treehouse had come for him and Annie, nobody else. Jack started running. Annie followed. Jack slipped and fell in the snow, but he scrambled up and kept going. By the time he and Annie got to the treehouse, the 2 people had climbed up the rope ladder and had disappeared inside. "Come out!" Jack yelled. "This is our treehouse!" shouted Annie. 2 kids poked their heads out of the treehouse window. They both looked like they were about 13 years old. The boy had tousled red hair and freckles. The girl had sea blue eyes and long curly hair. Their cheeks were rosy from the cold. They laughed when they saw Jack and Annie. "Excellent," said the boy. came to find you, but you have found us instead." "Teddy!" cried Annie. "Kathleen, hi!" Teddy was the young sorcerer who worked with Morgan in her library in Camelot. Kathleen was the enchanted Selkie girl who helped Jack and Annie on the summer solstice by magically turning them all into seals. Jack was stunned. Whoa. He had never imagined that their two friends from Camelot might someday visit Frog Creek. "What are you guys doing here?" he shouted. "Climb up and we will tell you," said Teddy. Jack and Annie hurried up the rope ladder. When they climbed inside the treehouse, Annie threw her arms around Teddy and Kathleen. "I can't believe you came to visit us," she said. "It pleases me to see you, Annie," said Kathleen. "And you also, Jack." Her large blue eyes sparkled. "It pleases me too," Jack said shyly. He still thought Kathleen was the most beautiful girl he'd ever seen. Even when she'd been a seal, she'd been lovely. "We went looking for you," said Teddy. "We climbed down and walked through the woods to a road." "But the road was full of monsters," said Kathleen. "A big red creature nearly ran over us. It made a big honking sound. And then, before we knew it, a giant black monster charged at us. It had a ferocious growl. We came back here to gather our wits," said Teddy. "Those weren't monsters," said Annie, laughing. "Those were just cars." "Cars?" said Teddy. "Yeah, they have motors and people drive them." "Motors?" said Teddy. "It's hard to explain," said Annie. "Just remember, in our world you have to watch out for cars every time you cross the road." "Indeed we will," said Teddy. "Why have you come here?" asked Jack. "We found a message for you in Merlin's chambers and decided to deliver it ourselves." "So we climbed into the treehouse outside Morgan's library," said Kathleen. Teddy pointed to the words Frog Creek in the message and made a wish to come here. The next thing we knew, we were here in these woods. Teddy pulled a small gray stone from his cloak. "And this is the message we brought for you," he said. Jack took the stone from Teddy. The message was written in tiny handwriting. Jack read it out loud. "To Jack and Annie of Frog Creek. My staff of strength has been stolen. On the winter solstice, journey to the land behind the clouds. Travel toward the setting sun and retrieve my staff, or all will be lost. Signed, Merlin." "Oh, wow," said Annie. "That sounds serious." "Yeah," said Jack. "But why didn't Merlin send us the message himself?" "We do not know," said Teddy. "Neither Merlin nor Morgan has been seen for days." "Where did they go?" asked Annie. "'Tis a mystery," said Teddy. "Last week I journeyed to the Sulky Cove to bring Kathleen to Camelot. She is going to be a helper in Morgan's library, but when we returned, we could not find Merlin or Morgan." "We only found this message for you," said Kathleen. "Aye, and I thought that when Merlin does return, he will be greatly pleased to have his staff back. Much of his power comes from its ancient and mysterious magic." "Wow," said Annie. "In his message, he tells us to go to the land behind the clouds," said Jack. "Where's that?" "'Tis a land far north of my cove," said Kathleen. "I have never journeyed there." "Nor I," said Teddy, "but I have read about it in Morgan's books. 'Tis as bleak as a frozen white desert. I am eager to see it for myself." "So you and Kathleen are coming with us?" said Annie. "Indeed," said Kathleen. "Great," said Jack and Annie together. "If we all work together, we can do anything, aye?" said Teddy. "Aye," said Kathleen. "I hope so," thought Jack. Annie pointed at the words "Land behind the clouds" in Merlin's message. "Okay, ready?" she said to the others. "Yes," said Kathleen. "I guess so," said Jack. "Onward," said Teddy. "I wish we could all go there," Annie said. and the treehouse began to spin. It spun faster and faster, and then everything was still, absolutely still. Alrighty, tune in next time for Chapter 2, which will be called Land Behind the Clouds. See you later.